Looking round the continent of the black man, I can't help but ask, what is wrong with my countrymen? We have gone through thick and thin, swam across so many deadly seas, been engulfed with sharks, watch our countrymen and women die as the bones crack in the mouth of these sharks. A history of pain, that is what we have. Yet we dare swim and dine in the waters that soaked our blood. Once upon a time, the Europeans came into our land, and without hesitation, at the sight of our endless abundant wealth, conceived the most conceivable iniquity amongst men, the enslavement of free men, all because of uncontrolled quest and appetite for dominance. They divided us and started ruling us, put chains on the hands, legs and necks of our ancestors, shipped us outside our will into lands we knew nothing about, made us properties of theirs. We were beaten, lashed, castrated, but we never gave up, cause the spirit of a black man was as strong as the rock of Gibraltar. It now dawned on them that our souls were resolute and will remain until they're broken. And this they did by changing our names, destroyed our cultures, restructured our history, made us commit the most abominable, and reduced our women to sex toys before our able-bodied men, who were made powerless and weak from the brutal dehumanization melted on their bodies, which their souls could not contain. My people used to say, "Inyojo bafo or omenala," which simply means the long observance of something bad turns it into a culture. Generations upon generations came and went, so that the true image of Africa faded away as the newer generation bought into the white man's way of life, swearing allegiance to them in almost a total disdain for African heritage. We have been overwhelmed by the excitement of being accepted by the rest of the world as we relentlessly seek to maintain the standard. We build on the foundations they laid without noticing the loopholes they created. We fail to realize that the intentional planting of weakness in the very foundation of the African states by the Europeans was aimed at making Africa perpetually dependent on them. As they freed the hands, legs, and necks of the black man, they quickly refixed those chains on their minds. Africa, emancipate yourself from this mental slavery, according to the words of Bob Marley. It is time for Africa to carve out their own path and change their lives. Africa truly needs to be free. The black man, in my view, truly needs to be free. Africa, stop playing by the rules of the game you don't understand. The white man believes that you're supposed to live up to a standard. Therefore, the African man keeps getting exhausted from the very chest for standard. Africa, I ask, who created those standards? Africa, think Africa. For all I really want to say is that they don't care about us. How long shall we continue to do the will of the white people, who will at no time do ours? We are Africans, and in case you never knew or you've forgotten, we were never slaves. We were free men who were conscripted by those who felt superior, although that's not the emphasis. But my cry goes out to the fact that what we fought vehemently against, we now pay to receive, because our hearts have been barricaded by a subtle avalanche of self-hate. We must rise up and question status quo. We must reject lifestyles and systems inherited from the British that are not compatible with the black man, as we showcase the uniqueness of Africa. Is this the Africa of our dream? My heart bleeds for the loss of brotherhood amongst Africans. A British is given unlimited visa to go into South Africa, but a Cameroonian is denied of such opportunity, whereas a black man will have to queue in lines longer than River Nile just to get a visa to the UK. Africa, break the walls of territorial demarcations forcefully created by those who didn't see and still don't see any good thing in us. Let's create formidable bridges that will unite Africa. Is this the Africa of our dream, where mothers unregrettably deny their young infant the fundamental pleasure of fondling their breasts? Instead, they feed them with animals' milk. Even the animals are knowledgeable enough not to do that. We seem to have forgotten that the African women and their children were heavily admired, yet envied by the European women who were so fragile and feeble to breastfeed their children. Hence, they made African mothers feed their children with amazing African breasts. Is this the Africa of our dream? Intellectuals will only parade themselves before their king's men, while they work and live in diaspora without investing in the African land. Africa needs a courageous, fearless, responsible and well-thinking leaders who will think of nothing else other than rebuilding Africa. Not selfish, but selfless. Not those who enjoy the luxury of bulletproof cars with tinted glasses, creating the atmosphere of unapproachability, but who will walk on the streets we walk, eat the food we eat, feel the pains we feel. For only then shall we collectively engage ourselves in creating the Africa of our dream. Africa needs to create a non-attractive political terrain where those elected into public offices will go just to serve the people passionately and not bunch of thieves whose eloquence in the use of English is the greatest password for looting public funds. Africa must begin to think and stop giving excuses. I look forward for an Africa where creativity is not subdued by tribalistic and religious bigots, only because the creative does not belong to their wagon. There is something about Africa that we seem to be ignorant of. I cry for Africa, but I choose to cry no more. For I see a new Africa imagined, where our stories will be told in admiration by the rest of the world, with a deep sense of a singular wish. How we wish we were Africans. But come to think of it, these can only come through when Africa decides to crash and then rebuild.